Have you ever wondered why Christians go to church? Or if you are a Christian, have you wondered why you should go to church? The Bible actually answers these questions, and so we're going to cover that today. The first reason is that the Bible tells Christians to go to church, so it's actually an act of obedience. We see in Hebrews, this is directed at Christians, the chapter 10 verses 24 and 25 say, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." So there's some regularity and intentionality behind it. A second reason is that Christians can go to church to get teaching and align their lives with God and Scripture. So church is not just Christians casually hanging out. There's some, as I mentioned, intentionality behind it, and that intentionality often includes teaching. So we see in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 to 17, "All scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God, the Christian, may be thoroughly equipped for every good work." Or in Colossians chapter 3, verses 16, we see, "Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts." So God is infinite, and we could spend our entire lives learning about him, and there would still be more to learn. This is very exciting for the Christian, since that's generally the key focus of their life and what they would like to do anyways. So church is a place where you can go and do that and kind of realign every week in the same way that, a bike's handlebars can get askew as you're riding along. Ditto with the Christian life. It's an opportunity to realign with Scripture and be like, oh yeah, that's what I care about. That's the trajectory I want to continue on. A third reason Christians go to church is for the community. It is a place where Christians can care for one another. It's a place where they can encourage one another. It's a place where they can correct and keep each other accountable and learn together. So we see in Galatians chapter 6, verse 2, that it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." Or in John chapter 13, verse 35, it says, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." I think the takeaway I want to get from those two verses is that we are not just encouraged. It's not just like if you go to church, that's great. It's like you need to be part of a Christian community, because otherwise you are not living out your calling as a Christian, which is to love and care sacrificially for others. We see a really beautiful picture of what this can look like in the book of Acts. So chapter 2, verses 42 through 47. And again, this is just one picture of what it can look like, but I think it's inspiring. So it says, "And they devoted themselves," Christians, "to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and prayers, and awe came upon every soul. And many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved." So the Christian church is a community of Christians who are there for each other, and that includes practical ways of caring for each other as well as spiritually caring for each other, and it is not something we can do alone. A fourth reason Christians go to church is because it's fun, or it ought to be fun. And what I mean by that is, when you're excited about something and it's awesome when you talk to someone else who's excited about that same thing, whether it be a show or a sports team or an activity or a club or whatever it is awesome to nerd out with someone who's just as excited about that thing with you. Well, for Christians, there's nothing more exciting than God. It is the center of their lives, and it's just a delight to talk about your favorite thing with someone else who shares that favorite thing. A second reason is that it's peaceful. It's you get to be at ease. You get to be around people who kind of get you and are trying to do the same thing as you. And you know, when you hang out with your people, whether that's your family or a particular friend group, and you don't have to dress up, you can just be yourself. That's what church ought to be like as well. It is a place where we can be fully authentic and fully accepted and loved, and just feeling at ease. I was talking to someone yesterday who I go to church with, and we were talking about how when church is what it is supposed to be, you feel like your batteries are recharged every week and you are excited to go back the next week. It's not just a box you're checking off because you feel that you ought to do it. It is a joy. So all those reasons together, Christians should be part of a church community that can look like a lot of different things. You know, if mega church is your style, great. If home church is your style, great. There's plenty of in between. The point is meeting with other Christians regularly to live intentionally and grow in your spiritual walk and support one another. So I'm curious, if you are a Christian, how has going to church impacted your faith? I would love to see your answers in the comments. If you have other questions about Christianity, please put those in the comments too, and I'll try to answer them there or in a future video. And just thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I post once a week. Thanks.